Hey there, Julia here, and today I am answering 8 more pen questions posed by Simone and her awesome Discord community members for another round of this just really fun pen community project. This is the third year that this tag has been going around, but the first year for this 8 more pen questions. My second year participating. I'll be leaving a playlist of other folks in the community answering these same questions down in the description, just because it's fun to see what everybody else gets up to, especially when it comes to these questions, and just get some different perspectives. So the first question is, do you have different uses for different pens? So honestly, most pens that I acquire them with the thought, with the purpose of everyday writing, where I can just pick them up when I need them. They can be rotated in and out of the currently inked lineup, sort of without any additional fanfare and fuss. However, there are a few pens that sort of transcend that purpose and have some specific uses. So I'm just going to be doodling here, but the first pen that sort of has a specific use is this pen BBS 469, and I use this super cool, it's a double header pen. So you can see both sides are eyedroppered. You just take out this nib unit here and eyedropper in, but I use this for permanent black ink on this side and a blue ink on this side. So this is the black side, and right now I have platinum carbon black over here, and I have a gorgeous blue ink. It's called Sailor Kanagi. So I just have these for sort of a quick draw when I need a blue or a black ink. I think once this runs out though, I think I'm gonna do a permanent, like a waterproof blue in this side. The next type of pen that I keep inked up for a specific purpose is a flex nib pen. Right now, that is the Pilot Custom 912 with an FA nib. And I like to keep a flex nib inked up for flourishing headlines, for writing names on thank you cards or cards in general. And let's see, I have this inked up right now. With Robert Oster Rose Gold Antiqua, which I'm just about ready to swap this ink out for something else. So we have these two, and then I also typically like to have this Opus 88 in Transparent Jazz inked up. I don't right now just because it's been inked up for a really long time and I was just giving it a little break. But this has my Pilot Parallel nib on it. It's a 3.4 size, I'm pretty sure, but I can dip it for you. This is just the Pilot Namiki blue, but I like to have this inked up for black letter practice and just some thicker lines. So yeah, these are kind of my 3 main always inked categories. Though recently I've just been inking up all of my dupes just for fun, but for the purposes of this question, we'll say these 3 pens. Question number 2 is, how do I decide what pen and inks I will use next? So for that, most of the time I am a seasonal person. I love autumnal colors in the fall. I love bright and sunny colors in the summer. that type of thing. But I also keep in mind what my main planner is looking like as far as the theme, because that's sort of where I do the most day-to-day writing. And so I want there to be some cohesion, some gelling with what I have inked up and what's in that planner. And especially with that, I don't just pick one pen to write in my planner. I just choose from my currently inked lineup and just write with whatever I feel like writing with that day. So sometimes my planner does end up looking a little chaotic. So just keeping that in mind kind of helps things stay a little more harmonious as far as color goes. However, I also think about what I had inked up the previous month and base what I want to ink up next on that, sort of in a contrast way, like just something completely different. Or if I've been missing a specific pen or color that wasn't used in the previous month, then I'm typically going to go for that. And then all the while, recency bias is at play. So something old, something new, pick inks that match, because I love to match my pens and my inks. And yeah, I probably overthink it way too much, but it's super fun for me, and I'll leave it at that. Number 3 is, which pen do you prefer for longer writing sessions? So I don't do a ton of super long writing sessions. My 5-year journal is probably like this much writing space. I have my life journal where I document and summarize life events. You've probably seen some of my check-in pages in here, but other than that, I really don't do anything too heavy right now, but I can't really do pocket pens for too long, so no heavy duty writing with those. I also don't have a dedicated long session writer, but some that I find the most comfortable, the Esterbrook Esty, this is the Botanical Garden colorway. I have this inked up right now with Birmingham Pen Company Tiger's Eye, but it's just really comfortable in my hand, post-it or not. And I don't death grip it, so I feel like that is a good long session writer. Also, the Waterman Corinne. This is the amber colorway with a fine nib. Also really comfortable grip section here, not too heavy, but not super light. So I can definitely write a little longer with this. Also, the Bone Crusher 7 Studios Velma model. It's one of the largest pens that I have as far as length, and it doesn't post. I mean, it can, but it's like comically long and crazy. But this also, for me anyway, has a really comfortable grip section. The weight is nice. So this one is another one that I find super comfortable for writing an entire page, we'll say. So hi, I have technically just finished filming this video and forgot to include question 4. So I'm hopping back to question number 4. It'll be in order for you, but the question is, what is your all-time favorite pen? I had it here and just totally skipped over it. So this Pelikan M1000 right now is my all-time favorite pen. It's classic, it's smooth, it has a huge nib. I love it. And it's a little bit soft compared to the other Pelikans that I have. It shows shading and just ink properties so nicely, It's comfortable, and I just enjoy it so much. It's like crazy enough, either this, which is also the most expensive pen that I have, or the Pilot Kakuno, which is among the least expensive pens that I have. And sort of for the opposite but same reasons, it's practical, but it's a beautiful writer and I feel no pressure with it. I can just throw this in my bag. This I would never just throw in my bag. I have reservations about taking it anywhere. So for the question, we'll say the Pelican M1000, but the Pilot Kakuno as well. So the next question is, if you had to choose one nib size, which would it be? I am easily a European fine girl. I always say I'm a fine first girly. And when it comes to Japanese pens, I am a Japanese medium. So these sizes, I say these sizes, but they're basically the same. European fine, Japanese medium. But I think these work best for me just because of my handwriting size and the types of planners and notebooks I use. And I think that the fine shows enough ink properties for me, although I do have nibs up and down the spectrum. Fine, I think, is just the most comfortable to me. Glare. Question 6 is, what is your favorite nib grind? This is also an easy answer for me. And if you watch the videos and keep tabs on me, then you know I'm gonna say Kirk Spears Imperial Grind. And right now I just have it fitted in this Heinz pen Purple Rain, which is an Atlas exclusive. It's so pretty. But let's talk about the grind. So the Imperial Grind on the writing side is sort of a cursive smooth italic. So think about maybe a more forgiving, smooth stub writing experience. But on the reverse side, you get thicker strokes. And so I just enjoy having two writing experiences in one pen, and it just feels very comfortable. I just really enjoy the grind. So that is easily my favorite custom grind. The next question is basically torture, but it is, if you could only use one ink for the rest of your life, what would it be? So I probably thought about this too much, really. I had a different ink picked out at first, but had to be real with myself and choose another one. So my thought process here. So I didn't go with black or blue because if I'm not using a fountain pen and other pens are a dime a dozen, it doesn't say that I'm only using fountain pens. It just says if I can only use one ink for the rest of my life. So I could still use a gel pen and it have black ink, or something else and I'll have, blue ink. So I didn't want to choose any of that, but I did choose Monteverde's California Teal because it's not black or blue, obviously. It does have some sheen in it, and I really enjoy sheen, especially when it's not super overpowering. So we get a little bit of fun, but it also could pass as an everyday, non-judgy type of ink if teal was gonna be neutral. I think this is a lovely ink. Also, bonus points for this ink because it does have some additional lubrication in there, and so pens that write a little more dry can still benefit from this ink and just having nice flow. So I feel comfortable putting this ink, even with sheen, in some vintage pens and just about any pen, honestly. The next question is, what is an absolute deal breaker for a pen and for an ink? So for a pen, I don't really vibe too well with pens that are just like a straight up metal grip section. I don't like the temperature change. I don't like the slipperiness sometimes. And it's funny because I can do brush metal. Like I like a brush or textured metal as a grip section just fine, but straight up metal grip section don't love. And then although I do have a few of these, I don't love when piston fillers don't have an ink window or any way for me to tell what the ink levels are. Let's say I have an in-person meeting, I am grabbing some pens, I grab this pen, but I don't know if this is gonna last me throughout the meeting or the outing or the trip or whatever it is, because I can't tell how much ink I have in here. And so that does annoy me a little bit, though I love this Scribo. I mean, look at it. And I didn't even know that these were piston fillers. I was too excited at the time. So I enjoy something, even if it's like this Pelican M800 where every other stripe is transparent, so I can at least see what's in there if I have enough to make it through whatever writing session I'm trying to be in, I guess. Kind of a deal breaker, although I have some. I'm just being a little more aware these days of that. For ink, 100% has to be legible. So if it's too light, it's a deal breaker. Because yes, I do paint with my fountain pen inks sometimes, but my main purpose is going to be writing. So I have enough light inks from my early fountain pen days and not knowing better and ink swaps and things like that. So as far as me purchasing inks, well, right now I'm on an ink buying ban anyways, but it has to be legible. Oh yeah, and I don't like neons. No neon inks for me. What happened here? Do I have ink? Yeah, okay. I was like, I did it somewhere, I'm sure. There is a bonus question this year, and that's super fun. It is, what is one pen everyone should have? So I'm actually shocked by my answer here, mostly because it's somewhat of a new discovery. I was gifted this Oaso, I'm not sure how to say it, I'm so sorry, retractable fountain pen, and I instantly just loved it. So much so that I grabbed another. So this one has the little friction piece up here because the cartridges that it comes with, the ink is like friction ink, so erasable. It's a nice nib. It doesn't dry out, which is amazing, and it's affordable. Under $10. It's reliable, a quick draw. If you have the Vanishing Point or even the Jinhao 10, you know how satisfying and just useful a quick draw pen is. And so I really love this. It's penable ready. So if someone's curious about it, I wouldn't feel too hesitant to say, hey, you keep it. So this one right now I have inked up with Ferris Wheel Press Cloak and Forest. But it performs well on crappy paper, on nice fountain pen friendly paper. So it's nice and versatile as well. And if it wasn't this pen, then I would probably also say the Pilot Kakuno. Just a gorgeous nib as far as writing experience goes. Not high pressure. Love that pen. So even if it's not this pen, which I am saying this is one pen that everyone should have, a pen that meets those same criteria, because it does just remind you of the essence of what it really is, a functional tool. And I love that. So those are my answers to the 8 more pen questions. Feel free to answer the questions in the comments if you aren't making your own video. Let me know any thoughts on my answers. Would love to hear what you think. Again, I will have the playlist for this tag in my description if you want to hear answers to the original 8 pen questions, how I got into pens, how many pens I had a year ago, and what pens and inks I wanted to try. I will leave that video for you right here. It's still relevant, super fun. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.